New mobile home buyers in 2026, we're going to talk about purchase contracts. One take, no edits. All right, so we have your land. We got you pre-approved. We did your site visit, so we made sure that your land had everything it needed, or we knew what was going to happen whenever you bought your house. We came on the lot. We picked a house. Now we're going to do your purchase contract. Now we are putting pen to paper. You are going to become obligated. We are going to become obligated, okay? All right, so finalize the floor plan, colors, and upgrades. Okay, every house has what's called a color palette. This is just one I found on Google. This is called a color palette. Here's how you check your cabinets, your accent wall. VOG is like the siding that isn't sheetrock. It might have sheetrock. There's the flooring, the countertops, the backsplash, and the bathroom, and the kitchen. There's the shower walls. Okay, then you got the exterior. You got the vinyl siding. What kind of underpinning are you doing? Are you doing brick? Are you doing concrete board? Are you doing the vinyl? All right, so that is all that needs to happen, and you need to be thinking about when it comes to the finishes in your house. Okay, some are upgrades, some are not. Now, I will say those upgrades are usually, a couple $100s. They're not in the tens of thousands of dollars. Outside of like maybe building like a wraparound deck or something. But that's something to understand and keep in mind because you got pre-approved for a certain amount. All right, we're back. So we're going to finalize that. We're going to review the itemized quote, okay? And I'll talk about that when it comes to ordering your house. But we want to make sure that everything you ask for is ordered. We want to make sure that there's a something pen to paper that you got everything that you asked for, and that's provided to you by us that we get from the manufacturer, okay? Review pricing line by line. Make sure you understand what you're paying for. Are you doing something on your own? Are we going to help you with it? Are you choosing to do all of your prep work by yourself? Are you going to save a little money, do a little elbow grease? That's perfectly fine, but make sure we understand who is paying for what and what is going in the contract, okay? Confirm delivery and setup terms in writing, okay? So, it'll take you 4 to 8 weeks to get your house. That's our timelines, 4 to 8 weeks to get your house from the factory. From that, it'll take another 12 to 16 weeks to get your house set. That's my spiel. Take your target move-in date, subtract 6 months, okay? So it takes roughly 6 months on the long end from the time that you sign a piece of paper to there's a house on your land and you have your keys, okay? That includes, dealing with the county, dealing with closing, dealing with all these things that have to happen when it comes to your bill. All right, know your deposit amount and your refund rules. This is very important. So let's talk about refunds, and let's talk about a deposit, and let's talk about a service, okay? So if you pay for a service, that is something that is going to happen. That is something that you are getting the value that you paid for, okay? Don't confuse that with a refundable deposit, okay? So your deposit on your house, your deposit on the house, the down payment, some of these things are refundable. Now, if you tell us to go and let's say do a septic tank inspection, or to go and perform a survey, or to hire a survey to perform a survey on your house, that is a service. You are paying for something to be completed, okay? Now, if you're dropping by your 10% down payment that is contingent on the closing on the house, that is something that's refundable, okay? Does that make sense? Understand what is refundable and what is not refundable and have it in writing. Realistic timelines, already talked about that. 4 to 8 weeks to get your house, 16 weeks to set your house, 6 months total on the long end. If we get your house in 4 weeks and we set it in 12 weeks, then you're only looking at 4 months. Ask about material substitutions, okay? This is something that's outlined in our purchase agreement, but something that needs to be restated, okay? So let's say hypothetically the factory runs out of the exact fixtures that you want. You want these black fixtures that are going to look good on your doorknobs and your cabinets. Okay, that's great, but let's say hypothetically those parts aren't available anymore. Let's say hypothetically that those items are not those exact items. They don't have enough for your entire house. They reserve the right to substitute small items like that with like kind materials and parts. So you might get you might get the rounded edges instead of the square edges, but it's still going to be the same color black that you like. Or it's going to be black throughout, but it might be like a tiny shade of lighter or darker. There might be a little deviation between what you ordered and what you get. Now this is one of those things that you are assuming the risk, and the manufacturer is saying, hey, there is a risk here that we might not have the exact thing you want, but we will do our best to give you exactly what you want and give you the closest to what you ordered. That is something that happens all the time, all over the place. Okay, that's in stick builds, that's in manufactured, that's in modulars. It is just at some point there is a realistic limit when it comes to what is available. Make sure your contract meets lender's requirements. Okay, this starts all the way back to the pre-approval process. Okay, you might only be pre-approved for 30 days, 45 days, 60 days. Okay, now your builder, or not your builder, your bank might only allow you to have a 3-month build, a 6-month build, a 12-month build. Okay, so you need to make sure that the timelines align between the bank, the manufacturer, the dealer, and yourself. That needs to be uh, something you consider, because you don't want to be in a situation where you are now paying your rent and your mortgage, or your old mortgage and your new mortgage. You want to make sure that you are lining things up and that all the timelines make sense. And then what happens next once contract is signed is we're going to order your house, we're going to inspect the house, and we're going to start the build process. But that'll be for the next one. My name is Jesus. I am located in upstate South Carolina. Uh, I help new mobile homes 2026 and beyond. We don't permanently do use, but give me a call or text, and email below. It'll be in the pinned comment or in the description. See you next one. Talk soon. Bye.